Hi chums, well I've been frozen inside today. Yes, there's no escape, is there? Even with bad weather, sadly. Of course, you're stuck with me. I don't mean that, of course. But, it's just turned really bad weather over here in the United Kingdom again, really cold and windy and blustery. And, as everybody knows, I make these myself for you with a stick, literally in the heart of London, up and down the United Kingdom. And the sticks... It's like that, you're like, no, almost take it off a bit like Mary Poppins or something. So yes, we had to retreat back inside. However, we have some exclusive news. And as ever, let me explain. Morning, lovely to see you. We'll have a lovely inside wave tonight. I hope you're keeping well, whatever you're doing. And as ever, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Welcome one and all brand new subscribers. And it's odd actually to be doing this inside for you because as you can imagine right now, it must be very difficult when you think about it for Meghan Markle, regardless of whether you're a fan or not, 2025, writing in the sand, all of that sort of stuff. And a lot of people have been asking me, Neil, but what's happening with Meghan and that show? Well, as you now know, she famously proclaimed, didn't she, that she was going to be having this second series. And as I told you first, an exclusive here on the show, it isn't a second series, it is just a series chopped into two. It's been very expensive to make, you see. And when a show is expensive to make, they have to get their money's worth out of it. So by dividing it in two, you get two lots of ad revenue and then a space in between. And more importantly, the reason for the space break is simply this. They want her to have the product up and ready to sell. Hence the reason they can't really do much with their Netflix real stores until she has a product. You scan, you buy, you shop. Now, I don't know about you, but apart from the flour sprinkles and whatever it is, the jam, there's nothing there that I think, oh yeah, I must have that, I must get hold of that. Seems a little bit odd when you think, but now everybody's speculating, is of course Netflix done and dusted with Harry and Meghan? Well, I would suggest that they're never going to be dusted with Prince Harry, but is he more dusted with them, if you want a sort of euphemism, because quite frankly, the programmes that he's provided like Polo and Heart of Invictus have not been a success. Meghan got a lot more traction, in terms of free publicity. What I can tell you first and exclusive on the show, though, is that she has a new option on the table, a new deal. Remember, you heard that here first. And basically the deal would be this, that she could go it alone, solo. Now, why do they want to do this? Well, of course, they're speculating, aren't they? They're wondering exactly where things are going to go in the future. And by that, of course, the trajectory of her life, her career. Is there something that maybe she now wants to plot? We've got the podcast coming up. There's all those interchangeables, and I'm being kind here, you know what I'm saying? The bigger picture is what Meghan now has to decide is whether she signs that deal. Now, obviously, the deal is not as lucrative as many people might think, but it does keep her in the public eye. And if she decides to take the deal, there could be little stipulations in there about split royalties, residuals, that sort of stuff, and sell-offs on the back of it. It would appear, according to an excellent source out at Netflix, that they're not quite ready to cut ties with Meghan Markle. And I would suggest the simple reason being is this. She's still a commodity, still can sell things, and more importantly, would be worth them some money. And, whatever the sort of road is in life for Meghan, whether she remains part of the British monarchy, she's always going to have that association, and they know that there's a story. And as Meghan famously said herself, she's only scratched the surface of her time in the British monarchy. Solo, alone, totally going down her own path, that's got to be worth some money. You get the picture. Either way, so do Netflix. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.